What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Minor League Films. We are back. Superman came out this weekend. Biggest movie of the summer, some say. Some say it'll be Fantastic Four. But we're going to jump in here and talk about it. I'm your host, Flying Jay. Got my man Scotty to the right of me or to the left, depending on where you're watching. And I got my guy Adonis coming in. It's a special guest. Adonis, how you doing? Forget about Scotty. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's a great feeling. My goat Kal-El, he's representing us right. James Gunn coming in doing his thing. So I'm glad to be on the podcast. This is actually my first podcast, so really appreciate y'all having me on, man.
There you go. All right.
Yeah,
We'll
no
get his
problem.
at and all that stuff in the information. Our stuff will be in the bio. Make sure you like that button. All that good stuff. Scotty, we've been talking about this all summer. Superman came out. So I will start with you here. Superman came out. You came out, you liked the movie. Go ahead and give me your initial review and give me a score before we hop into our spoiler stuff.
They didn't start. They didn't play any games. They didn't say we're going to show you another backstory. They didn't say you're going to have to see him from a baby on up. It started off saying, "Hey, bitch, 3 years ago is when Superman did this. He came to Earth this year. Boom, we're here. He just got his ass whooped." I said, "This is what I like to see. No more spaceship coming down. And he got a stupid ass blanket. We right into action." I immediately liked the robots. They had a little bit of humor. The colors and I'm not even a color guy. I don't care if it's black and white usually, but the colors set the movie off.
Wait,
I
you
don't
you love the
mind,
colors after all that Zack Snyder, black
but
on
listen,
black?
I like the colors in Zack Snyder too. But they weren't comic Superman colors. Like this is like it's bright. It inspires. How the psychologists say about bright colors and stuff. It inspired hope, and throughout this whole movie, Superman is like, "I'm here to protect people. I'm here to save you. I'm here to be everything humanity needs, while still I am also a human and I'm learning too." That was him throughout the movie. That was core Superman. At the all times, we go to the villains. Come on now. There's only one villain in comic book history that we've ever needed is Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor from the go. Like the scene, not to give anything away, the first scene where they're infiltrating, Antarctica, wherever that is,
Yeah.
and there's violence all around him, and Lex just walking by with his sunglasses on. He's like, "Yeah, let's just see what's going on." That motherfucker cool. All of these heroes, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, said, "Fuck the backstory. You should know these guys. If you don't, we're gonna give you a little bit and you'll figure the rest out yourself." And I think he did a perfect job. I think you should go see this. I think if he keeps doing this, which I know he will, with the animated series to tie this stuff in, which we saw Rick Flag Sr. in there, everything is going to be 8 out of 10 to 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It's
All
going to be
right, Donis, I'll let you go. I'll let you go next. Overall thoughts on the
Yep.
movie, and throw a rating in there for you.
So off the bat, I love this movie. I'm a huge Superman fan, so it gave me everything I wanted, and even a little bit more. I wasn't expecting so much like of the, sorry, of the Justice Gang to be affiliated with the main plot of the story. And I really loved how like at the end we got to see them like understand like where Superman was coming from when he was speaking about the war and everything, and see how that led them to make a change in their decision to be like, maybe we should do something. And that kind of goes along with, the whole inspiring aspect of Superman. So I think that was done well. Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet's chemistry as Lois and Clark, peak. I'm not gonna lie, I've been hearing some people say they might be the best Lois and Clark. Verdict's still out on that. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far, but it's really good. So I think for me personally, everything is perfect down to the casting, like Carano said. I think for me, I would always say that if you're gonna do a Superman film, you have to establish the characters around him as well, because people in the Daily Planet, everybody around him is just as important in their, main characters in Metropolis. So I think that was all, thought out well and done well. So I think overall, I would say for me personally, it's a 9 out of 10, and I would guess, so same as Scotty, and 9 out of 10 for price of admission is your guys' rating.
All right, wrap it up on those two. I mean, I'm about the same. I really like this movie. I thought it was a lot of things done well coming from the Snyder universe. Like you said, this has a lot of characters in it, and they still find a way to make this pretty much a Superman movie with just some accents. I mean, I think it helped that you don't have a Batman running around or Aquaman or a character that really steals the spotlight. I feel like with Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl, like those characters, you're just not you didn't go to the theater to see them, which worked in the movie's favor. You go in the theater to see Superman, and no one's distracting from Superman. Like y'all said, the acting is on point, and man, it just feels so good to get out the Snyderverse, where I feel like in every scene there's a storm that's about to hit. It's the cinematic, like lightning over. It's dark. One light shining through on the planet. It just happens to hit Superman. Like it just feels like too cinematic. Like this is bright. It looks fun. You get to see Superman like having a good time. Like this, like I said, this is one of the times I walked out of a Superman movie in a long time feeling like, hey, that was fun. Like usually it's like, man, will he live to the next day? Are the people okay? Is half the population gone? It's like, no, man, we just went in there and had a good time. So I do like that about Zack Snyder. I am price of admission as well. If I was paying for it, I think paying full price, you're going to get everything you want out of here and have a fun time. So I'm on the higher side of probably price of admission, as you two are. So that's kind of how I feel about it. So definitely price of admission on that. Okay, so we
Okay.
got our reviews out the way. I really want to hop into characters because you two, y'all read the comics. You know Superman way better than I do. I thought it was great. Now there may be some stuff in the comics I missed, but I want to give an overall impression going forward, like leading off on the DC, or I guess not the DCEU anymore, but the new DC universe. Do you feel like this is Superman you've wanted to get? Do you feel like this is the guy who's going to lead us into the future you can follow cinematically for the next 10, 15 years? I'll just throw it out there.
I'm gonna let Adonis do that first.
Yes, yes, absolutely, yes. There is no doubt about it. David Cornsweet is Superman. If you disagree, argue with your mama. That's not a debate. I'm sorry. It is the truth. You cannot look at David Cornsweet and see his performance and not think he isn't Clark Kent slash Superman. And there is a definite balance in the writing to make sure you understand the difference. Literally, like Carano said, in the first 10 minutes, you get Clark and Superman immediately. You're able to tell the difference immediately. And I think that was well thought out with intention. And I think they did that perfectly, just like they did in the Richard Donner films with Christopher Reeve. They made an intention to make a difference between Clark and Superman so drastically that even though they introduced the fact that he has hypnotic glasses in this iteration, which is perfectly fine with me, throw some Silver Age stuff in there, love that. But the fact that even if he didn't, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And I think when it comes down to his mannerisms, everything that he brings to the table, he has it all down packed. Like I genuinely thought I was like watching somebody be a different person. It's like, so great to see that the duality between Clark and Superman is very much a focus of the character because it is that important, you know. And, for people who don't like read all outside of the comics and stuff, it's way more than just like protecting his own identity. It's also a way for him to still be human in a sense, which is also a great plot point of the movie that they specified later to deal with a lot of the plot points in his speech at the end of the movie. Him being human is a huge part of what makes Superman Superman. And I think they mastered that perfectly. Now, going forward, I do want to see a little bit more Clark Kent. We didn't get to see
No
as
question.
much, but I do want to see a little bit more. But for what we got, I thought it was perfect. I thought it was great. And I think David will be our Superman for a long time.
Good, Scotty.
He said everything that there ever needed to be said right there. I mean, shit. I mean, I mean, I felt the same way. Like I was talking to you yesterday, Darren. There's only
Yes,
been
sir.
like maybe 4 films ever where I felt emotional after the film, as far as tears and whatnot. And this, while it didn't
Cold
create
motherfucker.
tears,
That's why. They only
this,
four? Shit.
yeah, well,
You
this while it didn't evoke a tear response, I was smiling like from ear to ear. I was happy because I was like, wait a minute, 'cause I don't like Batman like that. I said I like this warm feeling I got. I like how every scene they made sure to reiterate, hey, I am Superman. I am not here to actually judge what you're doing. I'm here to preserve life and at the same time say, hey, why can't normal humans do what I do, which is simply care about each other? That they reiterate that every time he was on scene as Superman, even when I thought it was a very important scene when the Justice Gang was gonna just blow the monster to pieces and whatnot. And even Superman right there said, I thought this was the most important part of the movie, actually, when he said, hey, why can't we just knock it out and I can take it to some kind of space museum, study it, and figure out where it goes? Which I guess Adonis is alluding to Superman eventually, having that section in the
And the
solitude where,
fortress. Yep.
yeah, where he has. I thought that was a perfect scene. Like I leapt up almost at that scene. I said, "Ooh, that's perfect." And like you said, you brought the hypno glasses to when he's Clark Kent. He didn't even need those, in my opinion, because this is the first Superman other than Christopher Reeve that when he's Clark Kent, who would know he's Superman? Who would, other than him doing stupid interviews with himself, who would know? Because he did such a good job, and they did a good job with the makeup and the hair difference. And when he was goofy in there, I said, "Ooh, that's believable." I believe he is a goofball nerd guy that can't do anything right. And then the characters around him kind of solidified, making fun of him, not anything harsh or anything, but poking fun at him because he's such a nerd. I'm like, "Ooh, he's killing that." Both roles. Like I hope he's the next Superman. Like they say about Hugh Jackman, well, I disagree with should be
Till
Wolverine
he's
forever.
90.
Till he's 90. You hear me?
Yeah.
No, most definitely there. I was with Adonis a little bit. I didn't get as much Clark Kent as I maybe wanted. There's really not a lot. I feel like we learn a lot about Superman, and I'll point to one scene that I really liked early in this movie, the Lois and Clark scene where she's interviewing him, and he allows her to interview
Mm,
him as Superman. And I feel like on another side, we probably would have got more Clark, but we really get into Superman's psyche and how he feels about certain situations and where he should be able to step because he's like, if I have the power to do so, I'll go do it. Versus just sitting around and trying to follow laws because we know how humans are. Even in this, they can't get nothing right. Like
yeah.
if there's a way to
Literally.
screw it up, they will do it. So I thought that was a great scene. I think I learned a lot about Superman in this movie, the way he feels, the video with his parents and how he reacts to that. Like I feel like I got a lot of Superman and kind of his mental and the way he thinks. As far as Clark Kent, I feel like we get a little bit, and I agree with you. I said, and Adonis, I don't know if you've seen this, but I said this. I've had a problem with Superman ever since Christopher Reeve because the way I felt walking into a Superman movie, Clark Kent is so important into that. Like he is the person that we're like, okay, like that's me going to work. That's me, having a relationship. That's me, living life. Oh yeah, and he has to go be Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't fight
Mm,
with your girl. You don't feel like going out and saving people. Like that's the
yeah.
last thing on my mind. Like all right, let that guy get robbed, man. I'm having an emotional time, but he doesn't have that choice. He has his other burden that he has to fill as well as a daily life. So in this movie, I definitely did want to see that. I don't think I got maybe enough Clark Kent, but there's so much going on in this movie that I feel like the balance is so good that I really can't complain about it. And we got plenty of movies going forward to see Clark Kent. We may even see him in an animated version, and as James Gunn has done, and get this fleshed out well. So I like I said, I really like this guy. I really like every actor in this movie. So I think this is the guy to lead us going for the next few years.
Mhm.
For sure. And if I could add real quick, I want to say right now, the Lex Luthor with Nicholas Holt and David Corenswet, their chemistry, I couldn't ask for a better villain hero dynamic. And I
Talk
think
that
that's
talk.
so
Talk
important to
that talk.
establish that. So I think with great David Cornsweet, with him being Superman, you got great Nicholas Holt performance in Lex Luthor. And then now you've created your universe's top tier hero dynamic. And I think hero and villain dynamic. So I think if they continue off that same thing and work it well with like other heroes, like when we get Flash from our first Flash, we get Batman and Joker and all these other heroes, I think the world we're in, they could piggyback off of this and take that and run with it, and it, you know, you know, go
All right,
crazy.
so well, yeah,
Well said. Yeah.
I'll throw a little wrench in here.
Yeah.
All
Here
right,
it
Lex
comes.
Luthor. So Lex Luthor. Now coming
Mhm.
from me again, not a comic book guy.
Here
I
it
really
Uh-huh.
comes.
do like Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor in the movie, especially the way he started. I love what they did with his character. Now my problem is, and me and Scotty talked about this before the movie.
Wait, hold on. This can go into our segment.
It's
Ladies and
not a nitpick.
gentlemen,
It's not a nitpick.
ladies
This
and
is just a
gentlemen,
question. This is a
Fly
question. I'm
Knits
not nitpicking.
Nitpicks.
That's not a
Start
segment.
it off.
Anyway,
Hey,
so
start
I
it off.
really like I said, I like Nicholas Holt. I like where they're going with him. I like the character. It's just like we talked before the movie, and I'm like, what would sell you on Lex Luthor? He was like, you know what? The thing about Lex Luthor is he cares about the planet. He cares about planet Earth and the people. And Superman is his overall threat where he's like, we don't really know this guy. Like, yeah, he's cool. He's flying around. He's saving people. but his true intentions, which I think they really sell in this movie of like, you don't know what his intentions are, especially when the video drops. So you kind of get Lex Luthor's point, and people really like him. Now, my problem is, it kind of felt like it went from, oh, like I'm here defending the earth to, oh, I'm just the biggest hater in the world. And I just hate this guy. And like now, oh, fuck the planet. If I gotta put a wormhole in the middle of a giant city and kill millions to get rid of Superman because I'm protecting y'all, that's what I gotta do.
Mm.
I like that first half of Lex where his plan was, and I thought it got silly later and kind of interrupted where I thought that was going. Now, how do you feel about that?
Okay, I'll start off. That was Flyness nitpicks
Not an
number
nitpick.
one. That's the first
It's a
Yeah,
nitpick
great
he
no, yeah,
has
we got,
today.
hey, we
No,
gotta let Scotty,
the
like, we let
segment
me
got
take
dope.
over. We let me take over the Superman portion. We gotta let Scotty
Listen,
go with
the,
Lex.
the
That's
nitpick
his guy.
the nitpick has started. Now, if from the outside looking in, if I'm playing devil's advocate, I can understand why you would say that because you don't understand. This is how James Gunn's doing it, and this is tad bit of headcanon. It looks like he's establishing unhinged Lex from 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s, where yes, he started off saying, fuck this guy. This guy has all these powers. We don't know anything about it. And I'm a human. I'm smart enough. We don't know his intentions. I'm going to stop it. Which with a dash of, or heavy dash of, back in the day where Lex also was a billionaire that was unhinged. I didn't like that Lex when I was a kid. I always thought it was kind of silly. He's that smart. He's like a megalomaniac for not a lot of reasons. So they added that in there. Remember, I told you, Darren, yesterday, I said it looks like he's quickly going from eras. Like he's going from the Bronze Age, Silver Age, Golden Age, and he's going to end up getting to a new 52 Lex because I saw like certain emotions from Lex Luthor when he was being talked to by Superman about basically, hey, you have all this brain, you did all this stuff against me, and I'm telling you face to face, I'm just here to protect humanity. They tried to offset it, which I thought was a good part. I didn't like how his parents' actual message, because I was sitting the whole movie, I said that's not the actual message. The actual message was, what it was, the message of not so much hope, what I'm talking about. I didn't like
Yeah.
that part, but that part kind of solidified for Lex, okay, cool, he's now justified in doing most of his stuff. The wormhole part was James Gunn, to me, paying homage to that 40 some years of Lex Luthor being very smart, being for the people, but at the same time, if his plan is not working, it's fuck this amount of people because my plan still has to work. It's one of those. So from a realistic standpoint, sure, it does not work. But from a 40 years of that character, it works perfectly because it's got to show this unhinged side of a billionaire that does not get his way. And so then he has to say, okay, my plan B is I'm going to get my way. Some of these people that I said I'm going to protect are going to suffer because, but he's, it's the billionaire, it's the I need to always have my stuff work, and it's the Lex Luthor of it all put together. That is a perfect interpretation of Lex Luthor, of 40 years of Lex Luthor right there. Well, I do think after this, it's going to start making more sense. He's going to get into New 52 Lex where he starts off like that, and then he's going to be like, wait a minute, what am I doing this for? I see Superman's true character. Boom. Ends up still being a jerk throughout his entirety, even up till now, but he ends up saving Superman on numerous occasions. I've said this since day one. We don't really need Superman. We don't need Superman at all. We need Lex Luthor. We need, and it's been proven time and time again. Matter of fact, that Lex Luthor video that's out right on the page. Y'all check that out. Lex Luthor has saved the world just as many times as Superman has in his own Lex Luthor. Don't do that. Don't do that. Look, do I gotta bring out the videos? Go bring it out.
Hey,
Just
Okay.
because
So
Lex
so now
Luthor
you saying
is.
that. Hold on. My question is,
Go ahead, ask
you're
a question.
saying you're saying he's gonna flip into this 52 Lex that now understands like, oh, like maybe we do need Superman. Maybe we do need to protect the Earth and have this flip. You think he could do that like logically in the movie universe after
Yes,
damn near
yes,
almost killing two cities
yes,
of
I
people, and people are just gonna
yes.
be like,
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So,
I'm telling you. Now, Adonis, he had to. I gave him a list of all the DC movies to watch where it shows Lex's progression.
mhm,
I gave him in a certain order on purpose. He has not watched all of them because I'm talking about Adonis with New 52, where Lex says,
yep.
I can still be a jerk, but damn, Superman and Batman, them are actually kind of cool." Remember, he was on the Justice League. They
Yep.
worked that in the comic books. They can
Literally.
work that in the movies pretty well. Go ahead, Adonis. Let him know something because he don't know. Look at him. He green. He green
I
right
got
now.
So I'm gonna keep it to you like this.
yeah.
For me personally, I thought it was perfect, right? Because to piggyback off what Corona was saying, for me, it's like watching Lex. It's like, how do I say this? Lex is super ambitious and almost too ambitious for his own good. So that means, like Corona said, the moment things go south, he's uncontrollable. Like
Yeah.
nobody can tell him anything. He does not listen. Key point in this is literally in I don't know if you watch Justice League Unlimited. There's these two-part episodes called Divided We Fall. He makes a deal with Brainiac, right? Everything goes south so bad to the point that he doesn't care about anything. He merges himself with Brainiac and then pretty much is on world domination level, which is not what they were originally going to do. But it got to that level because the Justice League had foiled so many plans up to that point, and so it's just like Lex is almost doesn't think things through, even though he's super smart. And that's
Yeah.
always been a lot of the downfalls and why Superman has always got the best of him because Lex leaves things unaccounted for. Lex leaves things as much as like he thinks he's got it under control, he leaves things under question, which is why in the movie when the guy was telling him this isn't safe, he goes to tell him like, "No, I don't care. We're going to get this done." At the end of the day, Lex is all about himself. He doesn't care about anybody else. That's also another thing that they show in the show Superman and Lois. When Lex Luthor was introduced in season 4, his plan was all good and dandy, but as soon as things started to go south, he started taking out all his anger and all the frustrations on the people around him who have done everything for him. You know what I'm saying? So Lex Luthor has always been a character who's always been for himself and always looking for the bigger picture in a sense of what can I do to make myself on top? That's what he's always thinking about. That is who Lex is as a person. He soon gets better as an individual, through time, through comics and stuff like that. But for me personally, I think this is going to be the start of Lex descending into that any means necessary Lex. Because this moment, like this plan that he had, was probably the biggest thing he had ever done so far. Because I think this would be like the first time he's been arrested, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So I think a lot of the times when we see Lex get arrested, he comes back even crazier because he's scheming up something more devious. So
Hmm.
I think it's perfect. I think the characterization is perfect. It made so much sense, especially growing up and watching so many like Superman cartoons and seeing like their dynamic. And also, the one thing that a lot of people don't account, every time he sees Superman, he gets even more pissed off. Like that's the thing. That's what drives his anger, drives his hatred for this man. Like he will look. That's why I think that scene was so great at the very end when everything's all said and done, and they take that moment for Lex to just like get in character and just look deep into Superman's soul. That is the descent for Lex Luthor's character, and he's going deep into his hatred. And I think that is where we're going to get to see Lex fully on through him creating war suits with kryptonite, all this stuff. We're going to lead into that. This was the catalyst for that. So I think it was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What you got to say now?
super smart guy. He's just emotional. He just his
Yes. Yeah.
emotions later
Yes.
get the best of him. Unlike a Batman who can go fully through his
Hmm.
plan and like keep
Hmm.
emotions out of it and make the smart decision. He just gets emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we got nitpick number one out the
I
way.
mean
What else you
that's not a nitpick.
got? What else you got?
My thing is for Lex in his future, right? He's in here. He's working with the government. He's working with people. I mean, once you do some shit like that, I ain't trusting you no more. I ain't give you no more. I'm like, nah, I'm out.
But now here's the thing. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. It's kind of like this thing that they do. It's very smart, and I think the way they do it in the movies is gonna matter, obviously.
Yeah.
But Lex Luthor a lot of the times is locked up, but they'll usually get him out because he usually helps a situation, a bigger situation that's bigger than just petty crime and petty hate for Superman,
where
right?
they need them.
And yeah. So basically, it's like say like perfect example. Lex Luthor was locked up also in the Justice League animated show. He helps the Justice League, right? And then that ends up getting him a pardon on his time, which basically frees him up a little bit. And they don't like look at him this much because, like, oh, even Lex Luthor helped us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they make opportunity for Lex to get his how do I say, get his goodness side out, if that makes
Good
sense,
graces.
to the public. So where he's looked at as somebody who's done a good deed, but in reality, he's just doing this so he can get back out there.
I gotta do it. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. No, I do really like Lex Luthor in the movie. That was kind of my question of like, how's this going to reflect? I mean, after you go crazy, like I said, first
Mhm.
impression is everything. Once you have that impression, it's very hard to reverse it. But again, James Gunn can, send the biggest villain in the world. It's like, oh shit, we need him now, and right away for them to get back into
Yep.
good graces. So
Hmm.
I follow that. So we
Or
talked about Superman.
honestly, if this,
Go ahead,
oh,
Scotty.
you gonna let me get my little thing?
Go ahead.
I was like, or honestly, since it's doing unhinged, Lex, even in Zack Snyder's show, like you can just get himself out of jail. Like he's got
That too.
billions upon billions of dollars. Like somebody, and they've already established metahumans are have been around for years. Oh man, all it'll take is one scene of somebody wanting him out of jail to get him out of jail, and then he can go to another country and bribe whoever he wants to bribe. And then, as Adonis was saying, we're about to see the descent into, hey, the government doesn't trust me. I don't care. My mission is still to fuck Superman up. So I will find a way to bribe dozens of metahumans and have this injustice society, which in turn will free up not just a justice gang, but other superheroes and hero teams and whatnot to show up. And then Lex is not going to turn into a decent person. Probably, I'm going to say, for maybe about 3 movies. Hopefully, they show the progression of his character. Maybe because
Hmm.
I don't see Lex in the movies changing until there is an invasion. Once there
Hmm.
becomes an invasion from a dark side, I hope it's not dark side, honestly, but from a Mongol or something like that, then maybe he'll be like, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and help them. Like in Forever, you read Forever Evil, Adonis, before?
Hmm.
Okay,
I've only read parts of it. I haven't read it all the way through.
Forever Evil is probably the, and I hate to say it because New 52 to me was 70% disaster work on
Hmm.
most of these characters. That 30% of greatness was Lex Luthor. The 30% was Lex Luthor.
All right,
Darian, and just while he's gone, I can just explain it to you real quick if you don't mind.
go for it.
It was Forever Evil and New 52, as you saw some of those movies with the new design, new costume, new voice actors, was a new universe after that Flashpoint movie.
Yeah.
This is a new universe that was made, right? So every hero is like 7 years younger. So almost like they'd all met 3 years, like this movie met 3 years prior to the book coming out. So it basically kind of restarted all the team ups and stuff. So the superheroes and villains from Earth 2, which is from Ultraman, basically it's called a crime syndicate. It's a whole bunch of alternate versions where everybody's evil. They come to Earth, they send the Justice League away into an alternate dimension in the portal. Boom. Whole Justice League. I'm not talking about the regular Justice League. I'm talking about all 50 some members are gone from the start of the book, gone in the first couple panels. Guess who has to save the world? Lex Luthor, and this is Lex Luthor at his unhinged moment. So Lex Luthor creates a clone, like in the movie or in whatever, and he's it's like a Bizarro. He creates a clone from Superman, Bizarro. He finds Sinestro, as you know, is a Yellow Lantern. Black Manta from Baltimore City comes up out the ocean. Is like, oh, someone took away Aquaman. Looks like I gotta get revenge on them because that was my fish. And Black Adam and Captain Cold. And they go in as a small ragtag team, and Lex is still unhinged and save the entire world in that book called Forever Evil. It's about that one ragtag team that defeats the entire crime syndicate. And that's when, from there, Lex says, like, to your point, I got all these billions of dollars. Why can't I just work with them? I can make the world a better place with my money, with those fighters. And since then, in 2011, it was 2025 now. For the last 14 years, Lex Luthor has saved the world more times than Superman. As Adonis says, argue with your mama. I got the footage.
All right.
I
So
got the pages.
Superman definitely has saved the world more times, but it's okay.
Cap.
Because
For the last
you know what's crazy, because you know what's so crazy is most of the times, not even most, I'll say, because it's been so much events that have happened, a good amount of the times he's had to save the city and the world from Lex himself.
in the
So we
last
can't even.
14 years, in the last 14 years, I said 14 years. Now, forget before 14. Forget before 14. Okay? Since 2011, Lex Luthor he saved the world from literal destruction. There was a doomsday kind of
Wait,
disease.
are we gonna hold on? Wait, are we gonna account the fact that Superman has not just saved Earth, but other planets as
Those
well? Are
planets
we
don't
gonna
matter.
forget that?
We on Earth.
So because
I said the world. We are the world. We are,
nah,
we
see
are
what he
the
do?
world.
See what he do? When he intermit the other planets, it's oh
Hey,
nah,
look,
those
I
planets
don't know
don't
about
count.
them. I don't know about them. To me,
You
they were
do know
fine
about them
already.
because you read about them. You know exactly
No,
about
they were
them.
fine. They
Look,
were fine.
that
Everything was
piece you've
fine
been
with them.
missing a billion miles away don't count. Apparently.
Boom.
Oh my
Anyway, we
gosh.
got through Darian's first nitpick. Do you have
No,
any more nitpicks,
not
sir?
a nitpick. Okay, so talked about Lex. They were all happy with Lex in the future. Again, I love Nicholas Holt, and we're going to go with him. Other characters. I mean, in here we got plenty. We got Lois Lane. We got the Justice Gang. I will just throw it out there. Any other characters really stick out to you? Who popped out? We got Clark's parents. Like I said, you got the people in the newsroom. A lot of people in here. Any other performances that really jumped out to you?
For me personally, Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan's performance was stellar. I think she got everything down. And again, what this movie does is we get to see the vulnerable side of these characters, especially when Lois is like rethinking and like she's at work, right? And we know when Lois is at work, she's focused on work. That's it, that's all.
Yeah,
But when it comes to Clark and Superman, literally, Cat Grant is talking to her and she's just like, dazed off, just thinking about what just happened in their conversation in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? And how that made her feel because Clark is the only other person that has made her feel this way. And that also goes into like how well the chemistry, how well the writing is and set in place for them to build up this relationship between Clark and Lois. And I love that. So, and I think them displaying that on top of the fact that she is hard nose hitting and she doesn't care. She literally is so determined that she is flying in Mr. T's sphere vehicle without a care in the world. She's gonna get it done. Like Lois is a like unstoppable force, as Clark would like to put it. You know,
yeah,
so I think that they did Lois perfectly. Mr. Terrific, I saw a post today, right? And it was talking about how James Gunn and every character that he is introduced that is a black character, he's not only just made them their own character in their own right. They're not like a stereotypical person. They're just them. They're just the character that they were meant to be. It's just great black representation of characters and they're executed well. And I loved Mr. Terrific. For me personally, my favorite scene for Mr. Terrific is honestly when he was when he was like looking for Clark with his T spheres, and that
yeah,
whole scene when he was fighting when Clark was fighting the LexCorp people, but he when he was searching for Clark and all that whole scene, like he was that showed heart for Mr. Terrific. Even though Lois was like, "This thing is about to close," he was so determined to help Clark and find everybody, and get that situation done. Showed
yeah.
how heroic Mr. Terrific is himself. You know what I'm saying? So I love that scene. And then obviously the great one shot action scene of him going ham on everybody in the camp.
Yeah,
That was
That
dope.
was phenomenal.
yeah. That's
That was phenomenal. That,
my
in
favorite
all
action
honesty,
scene in the movie. Probably.
Yeah.
exactly. I was about to say
My
that might be the
favorite.
best action scene in the movie.
I think it is. I mean, for me, it is. Is
For me,
that
it
one.
is.
I think I
I
talked to
think.
Scotty, and I was
Oh,
like,
go ahead.
that one, and when the engineer goes into the Superman's fortress, like
Fortress.
those are
Yeah,
probably my.
Yeah.
It is weird because it's like it's a Superman movie, but my favorite two action scenes don't have Superman in them.
yeah.
That's fair.
So
I would say my next favorite action scene would have to be when he was going against Ultraman, and
Mm-hmm.
then like when he locked in and he was going ham on Ultraman, he
Mm-hmm.
was hitting him with combos and hitting
Yeah.
him with I was like, oh, that boy Clark going crazy. But yeah,
Oh, go ahead. I know my favorite. You already know my favorite too. My favorite too would be Guy Gardner, because Guy Gardner is my favorite lantern out of all the lanterns on every planet. First of
No
all, like
how. No
again,
how.
he's from Baltimore. He's from South Baltimore City.
Mhm.
I don't like South Baltimore City like that. I really don't. Like when I have to go through the city, I will extend my drive 7 minutes to avoid South Baltimore. And that he was a cop in South Baltimore. That's number two reason why I probably should not like him. Guy Gardner, when he was using his ring and his personality, I don't want to give any spoil. His personality was coming through
Spoiler
his
review. You can give spoilers.
what?
You can give spoilers. This is fine. Movie been out all week.
When his personality was coming through his constructs, when the middle finger was coming together, I said, ooh, ooh. I said, that ain't South Baltimore right there. And the way he looked, like the facial expressions he had to me, that was so Baltimore, and the stuff he said was so Baltimore minus the accent. I said, ooh, that's what he got this character down. He got this character down. And then number two character that I like more than anybody else was Jimmy Olsen.
Mhm.
I
Jimmy
like
Olsen had the game, had all the game to the point where this fine girl was over here with Lex. She was like, "You just had to spend the weekend with me." He said, Shh, "I don't even know if I got time this weekend because there's a whole bunch of other honeys over here that want to go." I said, "That's what I'm talking about. He got options. He got options." Every time I saw him on the screen and somebody was trying to hound him, "Hey Jimmy, you look good." Shh, get you out of my face. Get out of my face. I got 7 over here that look but Jimmy was ready at all times. I have never That's why I say this movie did the character so well, because I have never in my life said, "Oh, I need to see more Jimmy Olsen." I've never uttered the words, "I need more Jimmy Olsen," until yesterday. I said, "Ooh, I need Jimmy Olsen. I also need Bibbo Babowski." I don't know if y'all know who that is.
Oh yeah, Bibbo. He owns the little restaurant thing
Did
in
they
the
show him in the movie? I get
I don't think so. Yeah, but I would love to see Bibbo. Like Bibbo is so great for Superman and the world of Superman because like having him, he's like he doesn't give a care about anything that anybody does or says. But when you talk about Superman around Bibbo, oh, you
mhm,
best be ready. He gonna come into his defense no matter.
ain't
He
playing.
is he ain't playing. Bibbo is a Superman defender forever. He don't care what they say. Even I remember when people thought Superman turned evil, Bilbo was like, "Nope, I don't
Nope,
believe it. I
not
don't
my
believe
guy.
it.
Not my guy.
That's not Superman. I know
They,
something's up. I don't know what's going on, but I know something's up."
they
now.
gonna show him
Is
as
that not the guy who helped him up when he was in the middle of the fight and he got knocked
no.
over?
That's
No,
Ali, or
yeah,
I,
that's
I forgot. I think his name was Ali, or it could be Mali. I couldn't hear
yeah.
everything in the movie because the audience was still going like ham. But
Hmm.
yeah, that was
No,
a guy that had a torture
yeah,
scene or whatever. But I'm like, they didn't
yeah.
Yeah.
show him. But that just, like I said, it goes to show, even though those are my two favorite characters in there, he did every character so well. I can't complain. Even Cat Grant. I did not expect a Cat Grant to be somebody that I like because I don't really care about Cat Grant. But now I'm like, wait a minute. He did her right. Perry always had the cigar in every scene. If
Don't
you
call
look,
me Chief.
if you look at every scene, that it could have been buildings blowing up around them. It could have been the wind blowing too hard. That cigar was intact. You ain't seen a single ash fall from that cigar. He's professional. You hear me?
Yeah,
That's important. These little things y'all think are little is so important to this movie that James Gunn got right, and that's why I like him as
detail,
director. Because it
detail.
feels like, to me, Adonis, it feels like he must have read some Superman.
Oh
He
no,
must have
oh
read
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think James Gunn made it pretty clear. He reads the comics, he reads the material, and he knows the material, and that's why even before this movie came out, I said, look, even if this film isn't the greatest film ever, I think it'll still be good enough to put people at ease for DC. And
Yeah,
that's
yep.
exactly what I think we got.
No, I
Now,
agree with that 100%. I think.
before,
Oh, go ahead, Scotty.
no, I'm saying, now that we're out of the, well, Darren, hold on. Before I continue, I was going to ask a very important question. Before I ask that question, who are your top two characters?
Yeah, yeah. As far as
I
side
mean,
characters, who you got?
Mr. Terrific, most definitely. I thought he was really good. I mean, I that's what I thought he was kind of going to be Superman's kind of right hand man in this. And while he wasn't, he was his own thing. He's kind of gets the second most attention, which I like because it's like him, Hawk Girl, Green Lantern. If you're trying to split time between all three of them, you really won't get to know any of them, and it feels like okay. I have some idea who Mr. Terrific is now, and then maybe later movies I'll get more Hawk Girl. Maybe later movies I get more Guy Gardner. So I did like that. So those two, and then I thought Lois Lane really held it down. I mean, I thought she was solid. Like I said, and that Lois Clark scene at the beginning where they're debating on how he should go interact with Superman is one of the best. And one of the things is Amy Adams as Lois Lane, and this is nothing against her. We didn't get that Lois Lane that's willing to kill herself to go get a story. Like you
Yep.
felt like the way
Well,
she acted.
hold on.
No, because
She did almost drown. She
hold on,
almost drowned
hold on.
stupidly to get that spear.
I mean, all is well. We had Man of Steel where she's walking, chasing after robots in Antarctica by herself. It's like, all right, bro, you have no idea what that is. It could kill you. Like I felt like the way she acted, even with Mr. Terrific, was like, all right, I am human. I don't have plot armor. I can't just walk out here and just help him out. Let me wait back under this shield. And when he says it's okay to move, now I'll move. So while she did do some adventurous stuff, I did not felt like it's like, well, anything for a scoop and jump off this building, hope Superman catch me. So
Yeah,
that I did like those. Those two are probably my favorite.
you're right. I try not to hammer down on Zack Snyder's versions too
No,
much
I do.
because Warner Brothers really didn't give him enough time to establish 3 Superman movies like we wanted. Granted, after the second Superman movie, he was going to go into a dark Superman working with Darkseid, which so it would have been dark
Wait,
throughout.
wait,
Lois
could it, could
Lane,
it, could
to
it
your
get any
point,
darker?
oh yeah, it can get darker now.
Yes.
Yeah, we can block
I
Yes.
out
don't
the
even
sun and get
I
dark.
don't even
What?
know if those first 3 movies had any sunlight.
I'm gonna be real with you. If you
No, no.
think which I don't understand, you can't introduce Batman and Superman together in the same movie and then do the Death of Superman plotline in the same freaking movie. You can't
That was
like
so
that.
rushed. For what?
You
Why
can't
did
do
he
that.
rush that like that?
I
Now,
think
now I
it
understand.
might have been Warner Brothers like rushing him to do it, even if it was or it wasn't. Here's what I do. Like when we have this type of conversation, this is gonna go off it. I'm not trying to go into like a huge tangent, but I'm just
Go
gonna
for it.
address this. Movies that we get, we can understand that it is not the director's fault and it's not like the creators who worked on the movies always his fault. Sometimes it is the production.
Studio.
Perfect examples of this: Spider-Man 3, some of the Zack Snyder movies, and TASM 2. Right? Those are three prime examples.
Mm,
Literally.
mm.
Although I understand that we can't ignore what we got and we have to take what we have. We can't just be like, okay, we know this is what they would have done. Okay, yeah, but we didn't get that. We didn't get to see how that worked. We have
Right.
to take for what we're given. We can understand, but we got to take for what we're given and we got to go off that. So what we're given is a rushed plot, a not very developed good relationship between Batman and Superman. And also, I don't understand. The dynamic between Superman and Batman is light and dark, hopefulness, and like just straight up justice in his own way, right? Those are the dynamics in the back and forth between Superman and Batman. You have Batman telling him the bat is dead. The next time they shine your light in the side, don't go to. Who are you?
Yeah.
That is not Clark. That's not Superman. That you can't have
Right.
Superman and Batman Dark in the same movie. That's not how their dynamic works. That's not
It didn't
them.
work.
So
It
it's
didn't
like
work.
so like when it comes to like, that whole like you bashing on Zack Snyder, I can understand. And I like Man of Steel. I think it's a great movie. I just don't
Mm,
think it's a great Superman movie.
mm. Yeah, I feel the same way you do. I even thought the Batman vs Superman movie was silly. Like to bring in 2 different comic book storylines in there and do them that bad was bad. He couldn't establish any relationships. The I think the worst part of that movie is, and this might be a nitpick, I hope it's not, is when Batman shot the first grenade at Superman with kryptonite gas and he caught it. I said, okay, that makes sense. He caught it the first time. The second time, when he shot the gas thing and Superman was getting all his energy back, and when he didn't move out the way, I said, you know what? Now it's silly now. Now it's silly. And now I said, I'm predicting the next scene is going to be Batman beating the crap out of Superman. I hated that. I needed to see Superman overpowering Batman and saying, hey, we need to work together to save these humans, and then changing Batman's mind. I could not deal with, I was telling Darren yesterday, I cannot deal with a stupid Superman. I can't do because anybody that has super speed and like super speed as far as how they think, I can't deal with you also being somehow stupid in combat. I can't deal with that. I'm like, because you can see everything as it's happening faster than your opponent is, especially a Batman. I'm like, I cannot deal with a stupid Superman. And there were so many things in Man of Steel and in BVS. Even though I did like Man of Steel, I gave that like an 8 out of 10. I can't deal with a stupid Superman. I will never be able to deal with that. So I hope James Gunn ends up having Superman. Just show me some scenes where Superman is speed reading things, and then in
Mhm.
1 second he's like, "Okay, I got it. This is what we're doing." I need to see that because I
Yep.
am so tired of the stupid Superman where it's like I need so and so. I mean, I understand he's not a genius like Mr. Terrific or a Lex Luthor or something.
But he's
But
what's
he's
the
not
word I'm looking
stupid.
for? He's I forget the word I'm looking for, but he's able to like do things on his own without always like needing help when it comes to
Yeah.
like when it comes to like tactical and battlefield stuff. Like him like literally him reversing it on Lex Luthor in the movie was like
Hmm.
Brain versus Brawn, and he calls Crypto because he knows that
Yep.
Crypto would be able to help him here, and
Yeah.
that'd be a great move because they're not expecting it. Perfect. Like
That was a
that's showing.
perfect scene.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that was showing. Yeah.
I do love that. I think one of the biggest things that bothered me in the other one was Flash when he tripped. Just not looking where he's running. I'm like, come on, man.
And the Flash looks like he's running on ice every time he runs
But it's
too.
not
That
even
whole
that. It's
thing was
like, come on, man. Hypersenses. What are we doing? It's the way we take out half the team.
yeah,
But
like
Nah.
come on.
yeah, so I think going forward, so I think we all gave it. You guys gave it a 9 out of 10. If I had a score, it'd probably be like an 8 out of 10. It was something is worth paying for. So obviously, there's some room left of something maybe you didn't like, or something maybe you had a problem with, and they could do better. I mean,
Oh, here
I
we
have my
go. We
little
go back in the
list of
fly
things,
nits nitpicks.
but
What's your other thing you didn't like, sir?
I mean, do you want me to start?
Oh,
No, hold on. I
no,
want no.
you
I
got
want
to.
no, Scotty. You need to go and talk about what you talking about because I've
Oh
been
no.
itching.
You know what I'm talking about is the same thing he's talking about. It's the one scene. And
It's
Darren, we talked about yesterday.
yeah, that was my biggest one.
Now, listen, I want to start this off by saying I understand the comic quickness. I can understand, but I can't in this part because this scene when this if you did you read Absolute Power Adonis from the issue 0 to issue 1?
Yes.
Okay, so in that book, Amanda Waller is basically taking a Lex Luthor stance, and she's like, "All metahumans are bad." Boom, 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 boom. It
Hmm.
kind of shows a little bit of time before her showing metahumans suck to the public saying, "Yes, metahumans suck." I always understand if half the public already thought metahumans suck, but in this movie, when they had the scene where Superman just saved everybody from the big kaiju, and like I said, the internet's going to internet every time. But what I'm talking about is the physical people around him that just saw him save them from the monster and saw him save a damn squirrel, even the squirrel. And when they see this video online of Lex saying, "Oh, well, he was sent here to to
Take
destroy
over.
humanity," and blah blah, the first thing he gets is the mother takes the girl away after he was just saved her and gave her a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and then everybody around him's throwing cans and tomatoes and stuff at him. I said that's a snap of the finger reaction to that when he just saved y'all. There
Saved
was no
stupid
questions.
ago.
I'd have liked the people. What I would have liked in that scene, this is I'm going to call this a nitpick because I understand comic book quickness,
I don't think
but
that's a
in
nitpick.
this movie,
Because also too, we're adapting. Like we talk about comic book, like in a comic book, fine, because you just got to get you your page and stuff like that. This is a live action, like it's a movie. It's a comic book movie, but it's also a movie, so it's got to be like some level of believability and realism in it in its adaptation.
what I was telling Donis earlier when you were fixing your internet, I was like, I just would have liked an extension of that scene, maybe just like 3 to 5 minutes of gradual. Hey, like a perfect scene would have been gradual. A big group of college students or high school students say, "Man, I really like Superman. but this video is actually legitimate. Like, how can we trust him? I would like the gradual to,
Yeah,
the population, just the population surrounding him in person
yeah.
would have, like, matter of fact, if they would have kept the scene the same length, but the people, the crowd around him after he saved them from the kaiju would have been like, "Oh wait, this can't be real. He just saved us from it. What's the whole motivation?" And then they would have said, "Oh, his parents said to save you from stuff, and then he's gonna, like, that's how he's gonna confuse y'all." Boom, would have been cool. But I'm like, damn, the crowd kind of was like
Bro,
immediately
Mm.
were
just
like,
like
"Man, fuck you. You just saved us, but you
'cause
still
I'm
a
with you.
bitch." I'm like,
I'm
nah.
like, I'm thinking like when that scene happened, it's a flip on a dime. And I'm with you. I'm like, if they say, "Hey, Darren, direct the scene," if I had to redo it right after he saves them, they play that video. No one knows if this video is real. They don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
doctored because they can't understand it, so they don't know what they're actually saying in the video. People having confusion and been like, I don't know, he did just say, like, just kind of people talking in the background, and then maybe you have the little girl be like, Superman, are you here to, are you here to kill us? Like, are like somebody asking a question with the crowd? Like, I feel like that reaction would have been authentic versus like 2 seconds later, damn, I just bought this Diet Coke, but fuck, just like it's just like I thought that was one of the more sillier and James Gunn comedy cartoonish parts of that movie.
Adonis,
So,
you have a
go ahead,
justification
you
for
got
this?
something to say? Go for it.
Justified.
This
All
okay,
right.
let's do
You
this.
walking the lines then now. Go for it.
So let's do this, right? So at the beginning of the movie, right, we already know that Lex Luthor, when he was in that board meeting, already specified that people online and on the internet, and actually just public reception of people, don't like Superman because of the Baravia event, right? And when he stopped that war, right? So we already know that's a thing. One thing we also need to realize is the fact that Lex is a masterful manipulator in his words and how he delivers things and how people will believe him. That's when I was talking about why I love Lex Luthor, and we got to see like media in front of the public. Lex Luthor, how he handled that on the show, right? He made it sound like he actually gave a damn about, like, oh, I'm scared. Oh, I like all of this. Like, he gave fear into the people watching that. So it's not more just like the base information. It's who's telling it to you and how they're saying it to you, right? On top of the fact that we also need to realize that and this is why I was like, I don't know if y'all have seen it a second time. I've only seen it the first time. But if you guys remember, in the scene that you're talking about, a guy is watching it and he's like, "You got to be kidding me!" Like, as in disbelief. He doesn't immediately believe it, and then like he's comfortable enough to show Superman, like, "Hey, look, this is what they're saying about you." So
Mhm.
like that shows to me that not everybody is on that type of timing of instant switching up, right? However, I also think maybe there might be a little bit of underestimating people's reaction to information, right? We have grown men and women nowadays talking about Superman as if he's not an immigrant and hasn't always been an immigrant, and people buying that information and going online and saying the same stuff in real time while this movie is coming out. I did a whole video on this. We
Mhm.
have people, grown men and women, on national television specifying that the Superman movie is too woke, and people are buying it instantly without thinking of anything. So I don't think it's unrealistic for people to switch on a dime about a movie that they're like, "Oh, I wanted to see this. Oh, well, it's about immigrant stuff now. Now I don't want to see it." But you haven't seen the movie, nor have the people telling you this. They're just saying this so they're moving an agenda piece. We have people like that in real life. So I think it works perfectly that they would do it in a comic sense. It just fits even more for me because now the stakes are even higher because we're not just talking about immigrant stuff. We're talking about an alien who just got confirmed that he's now here to rule us.
Mhm.
So your anxiety and all the levels of emotions that you would feel would be at fucking 100. So it's like this person has been playing us this whole time. So on top of the fact that all of those variables are tied together. Then, when Lex confronts him about crypto after he sees all his shit is broke at the fortress, and then Eve is videotaping, again, media's perception is a strong thing. And that is also what was shown in the movie. whatever, and a lot of people don't, I guess, kind of like forget this whole thing. We have middle-aged men and women and people who don't understand technology, who I'm pretty sure y'all have people that y'all talk to. As soon as they see something online, they instantly believe it. They're like, here,
Yep.
you look at this, and then you got to be like, oh no, that's not real. That's actually fake. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
That's true.
Again, but in this manner, you have Lex Luthor on national television with proof telling you an alien is here to enslave you. You're not going to wait a single second thinking about, is this really true? Especially when you're those type of people. So the guy throwing the can out his head, he could very much be one of those, and he looked like he was just a grown man adult. So this could be very much an adult that just believes anything he sees on the internet. So
You know
I
what?
mean, I
That's
could.
a good explanation.
I mean, I
I agree with 48% of what he said. Now, the 48% I agree with is that Lex Luthor is a master manipulator, master genius, master everything. That's correct. Hey, I can't contest that part.
what
But
can you contest?
what I'm contesting is the rest of the art. Now, you're right. That one. That I think you're spot on where the media can betray this, and that, and they made it seem like that talk show may have been one of the most watched shows,
Probably
like a
was
Jimmy
in this long.
Kimmel, Stephen Colbert kind of shit. And I was like, cool. And so it got spread even further, and the message was verified to be real. I just, like I said, I just wanted an extension of that scene to show um, a gradual negativity towards Superman, and the
mhm.
rest of the crowds what got me. The rest of the crowds what got me because some people that he just like personally saved, even the girl and her dog, they're like, ugh, Superman. Ugh,
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
I
that.
don't
it,
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
Ugh.
because like the only one that I remember that was about, it was just like they backed away in fear in
Yeah,
of like, we don't know now. Like it's more of like
yeah.
a unsettling feeling, which again I think it's fair. And especially, and it was a girl actually that he had in his arms, and then he sat down whenever it posted up, and then her mom grabbed her. She was like, "Come here,
Yep.
sweetie," and it's like that's natural. Like parents are super super protective of their children.
Wouldn't have been
So
me. Left my kid right over there. I'm like, you have a good time over there. Have a good
I
time.
mean,
so yeah, for me everything just felt like a natural reaction. And again, like I said, the what drives this home for me is the fact that days before this movie came out, people ate up the fact that people are now buying into the whole Superman is woke because he's now an immigrant, even though he's always been since his first conception. So
That's
that's
true.
why I don't look at it as a negative or even a nitpick, because that's how we are in real life.
You know what,
I
So
just it's
Darren?
just like
Darren, I have a statement. You know why I felt crazy about bringing Adonis on here is because he's educated. I don't like these educated answers. Okay,
I mean,
you know what I mean. You tell me something so I can rebuttal. Damn it! Like
I mean that that is a very educated answer.
education is
It
the
just
downfall of America.
yeah,
This is the example right here.
it just
Okay.
feels in the context of the movie. It's like because these people, especially in Metropolis, right? If he was at
mm,
another planet in another country, fine. All well, hell, they don't know. They don't see Superman every day. With these people who he's been Superman what 3 years?
3 years.
These people he's been saving for 3 years. He's gone to this city probably shit. In this movie, somebody comes to Metropolis to fuck that place up every day. So over 3 years, not 1,000 days, he's been in here. He's been helping these same people. He's built camaraderie with them. I understand a news flash and people's mindset may say like, "Oh wait, like I watch this news network every day, and now they're saying Superman is bad." But it just feels like for those people on the ground who have this self experience, it's like having a friend for like years, and that friend does one thing wrong. You don't just well, it depends on what it is, but they may do something
Yeah.
wrong that's we'll say mediocre. You find some information about it. Be like, man, I don't know. This dude might not be the dude I thought, but you have that transition from wait a minute, hold on. I made a take a step back and look at this guy. You don't necessarily just go 0 to 100. Oh, I hate that guy because you have that built up camaraderie from the years of what he does. Especially, he just saved your life like a second ago. And also,
Yeah,
too, if this guy is an alien, you know his powers. You know he's set into, sent into, his power. If he's sent in to take over Earth and destroy people, is your first reaction really, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw this tomato at his head? Like he kill all of y'all in about 2 seconds here. Like that's
yeah.
not even a
No,
self-preserve. self-preservation
Yeah,
reaction.
here's the thing though, but that again, that's okay. How do I say this? It's very much a situation where you have to like understand that multiple people are gonna have different reactions. And I agree. I will say this. Here's what I will agree on.
I would say, but wait for it. It could be the
Yeah.
way they filmed the scene too, because it does look like everyone who was just there kind of just forms a mob right around him, and that's the shot you get. So it
Mhm.
may not be everybody, but the way they filmed it, it looks like everybody who was there just flipped. Not even like some people in the back, some people. You get kind of like a tunnel crowd. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
and yeah, and but yeah, so like I guess like I guess for me, I took in the focused moments, right? So like when the woman pulled away her child, right? That is a
Mhm.
focused moment of a
Mhm.
character decision from that lady to be like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna pull my daughter away real quick
Natural.
because she's my daughter, protective, right? Then we see the guy who's in disbelief but not very sure, but still comfortable to say, hey, Superman, they're saying this about you, right?
Yeah,
So he's not fully turned, but he's like, you got to be kidding me. This is what they're saying. So then we have the scene where the guy comes up, hits him with the can, right? I gave my explanation of what that can mean. It can mean that he's also been one of the people that turned on Superman a while ago because of the Bolivia
yeah.
event, because
Uh,
politics and all that stuff, or the fact that he just instantly believes it because anything you see on the internet is believable. Now, the one thing for me that drive another piece that drives this home, and I remember this, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor specified and made sure that because the news guy asked him, he was like, what if he like saw the message and Superman just doesn't align with those beliefs? And he's like, I can't, not only can I take that chance, not take that chance, but Lex Luthor put it into words. He said that he's doing this to deceive you. He's doing all of these things to pretty much perk you up until as soon as he gets you right where he wants you, he's gonna pump down like an alligator. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's why again why I go to Lex's point of him being a master manipulator and with his words, he covered all the bases. He
Yes, he
made
did.
sure there was no stone unturned to where people could question the validity of what he's showing the public right now.
Big
So
Lex.
that's why it's not a problem for me.
Mm,
I
yeah,
like the explanation. Once again, this goes to my point where that's why I don't like having educated people on the show because they got explanations and shit. God
no, I
damn
mean it is perfectly fair. For me, it didn't work, or I wish I'm like Scott. I wish it would have maybe took his time a little
it.
more.
Yeah, no,
I'm not even.
and that no, no, and I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah,
I was just giving my explanation and why I think it
no,
still
I'm
works
glad
and
you
why
have
I think
another
it's
point of
good.
view of it because
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not even mad at the scene all the way. I just like we were saying. I just wanted an extension of it
yeah,
to
yeah.
show
You wanted
to
a little bit
show
more time.
progression.
I
Yeah,
get it.
just show
Yeah, I
progression.
get it. I
But
get it.
again, I have to completely agree with the Lex part because I mean,
no,
can't do this without Lex.
yeah. Okay,
One man, one man deceived the entire, not just United States, the entire world in
Oh
five
yeah.
minutes. So
yeah,
honestly, this is
And
a
his
Lex
connection
speech.
to the president of Bolivia because he had
Honestly,
him on
look,
in his pocket too.
and that's what we know of him having him in the pocket. Lex Luthor in 5 minutes or less deceived the entire, not even really deceived, but got the entire world to believe Superman's a bitch. You can throw a can at him and he's not gonna do shit about it. That's power. That's again, that all goes back to Lex Luthor's the greatest character of all time.
all
Of
right.
all time.
So
Amen.
moving on for that.
Move
So
along if you want to. You're not gonna
I
forget
think
that.
at least both me and Scotty had that problem. Adonis, you have any other things in the movie that stuck out to you? Were like, I wish that was different, or changed it, or any? Is there any other things that you kind of had a problem with?
I think the obvious one for me, it's not okay. For me, okay, I'll answer your first question and I'll go into the. So, do I have any problems with the film? Not really. Not
Okay,
really. And you would think like a film with like no problems, like it'd be a 10 out of 10. The reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 is only because I wanted more. I low key thought the film was maybe a little short, in my opinion. Like it did what it needed to do. It
yeah,
didn't like spend no time longer than normally you would say. But I don't know. For me, it's just like I felt satisfied, but it was like, man, I just wanted a little more. I don't know what of, but I just wanted more. And I think honestly, for me, I think actually no, I take that back. It was the Clark stuff. I wanted a little bit more Clark, and I actually wanted a little bit more of him being like how do I say this? I wanted to see him more like in a sense where he had to save people, even though like they're afraid of him. I would have loved to see like a little like montage of like time going over like since the news broke. He's still trying to help people, and but people are like now really
They don't want
afraid of
to
him.
help.
That ain't
I
good.
I I would have loved to see that. And then that could have led into him like, finally going to Lois and being like, I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna turn myself in because people not only do not trust me right now, and but I think if I turn myself in, maybe it'll be a sign of good faith for people, et cetera, stuff like that. Especially after, me bursting into Lex's office and then the whole news thing breaking. So I
Yeah.
would have loved to see a little bit more Clark and more of that part of him, like the people distrusting him more. So I guess in a way, I agree with you guys in a sense that a little bit more should be added to that scene.
Yeah, you
No,
heard
that's
it
a
here first.
honestly, that's a great answer because that's what I was talking, Sky. While I do have some stuff I thought was silly, nothing of that brought the movie down for me. I just didn't walk out like I told you. I went to see. I don't know if you've seen F1. I went to
Yeah,
see
I saw
F1.
F1. Yeah.
I went to see
Oh,
F1 at
here he
IMAX.
comes. Here he
I
comes with
walked out
F1
that
out his
theater
ass.
like, yo, I'm about to take my Honda and hit 120
Nigga,
back down the
right,
like.
bro.
It was just like that energy of walking out of the movie like just buzzing. I didn't
Yeah,
walk out of the movie like buzzing. I walked out of it like, okay, like we're on track. We're going where we
yeah.
need to go. I had a good time. I just wasn't buzzing. And then when you brought that up, it made me think about something. When Lex does this media campaign, and I don't know how this relate in the comics, something I may would have loved to see because I love Lois Lane's character so much. Maybe a little bit of a PR battle. Like they work at a
Yeah,
newspaper, a big newspaper that everyone
yeah.
listens to. They all have a good sense of Superman because they write all these articles. Maybe
Mhm,
Lois Lane's job, and I get it. She had to go save Superman, so probably didn't have time to do that because we didn't have any time
mhm.
between him turning himself in. But maybe
Yep.
while he's trying to save people and they don't necessarily want to be saved, you kind of get this PR battle of maybe like, well, Lex might have this questionable past, or like Superman's been with us this long, maybe just instill some confidence. Like I feel like that would have been a cool
Ooh.
little, not even that long, but like a 5 minute kind of like montage of like back and forth of their
Mhm.
battling two PR campaigns.
Yeah. And I definitely really agree with that. And I actually I wanted and although I do agree, Lois did her thing, she did amazing. Now that I think about it, I wish there was a little bit more of her reporting in
Mm-hmm.
a sense of her like getting to the nitty gritty of things. I did like from the reporting that we did get from her like working with Jimmy to find out all this other stuff,
Yeah.
but we didn't all the way get to see her like fully investigate into that all the way through. And like we just caught up with her basically where her thoughts were already. So, but I would have liked to see that process a little bit too. So I can agree with you there. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so it's not really like bad thing. It's just I wanted more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not even bad. It's just I wanted more. Like I felt satisfied and everything. It's just like I don't know. I could have used more of this. I could have used more of that. But as far as negatives, I don't really have any negatives for the film. I just walked out and feel it as a 9 out of 10. So
I
I,
yeah, I don't think I have anything that's crucially negative to that movie. I have like I said, I already named my little tiny things that made it 9 out of 10. Now, what I want to get back to focus on is Darian. Is there anything else you didn't like in this movie? We
I
still
mean,
the
look,
segment ain't stopped.
I mean, I will say this. I had my little moments where I thought things were, and I get it. It comes with James Gunn comedy. One of the things was when they go to
Mm.
the alternate dimension, and he
Hmm.
has an army of monkeys who just send out tweets all day. Now
Yeah,
my first question: what kind of Wi-Fi do they have where it works interdimensionally? Because that's a hell
I
of a
think that's what
connection.
the wires were for. That's what the wires
Yeah,
to their head
I
was
can't.
for.
I can't even get on here without problems, but they can send tweets from other dimensions. So I need to look. I'm not hating. I just need that service. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
thought that
He's
was a
like, I
bit.
need that data plan.
yeah, that's crazy. That was kind of crazy, but I
Oh,
enjoyed that silliness of comic book
yep.
silliness because that's
It's
some
kind of
simple, it's
Yeah.
simple, silly comic book shit.
yeah.
I enjoyed that part,
You know,
even though
you
it
know
is
what?
silly.
And what I also loved, I loved the fact that they already introduced the things of magic, right? The when they were fighting, when it was just Justice Gang fighting the interdimensional imp, that
Yep.
Superman, he was just shrugged off. He was like, they're
Yeah.
they're fighting the interdimensional imp. They got that. And it's like, oh damn. Wait,
There's
we
some
already
pigments
got
in
like
there. There's some
we
pigment.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, okay, so we hitting that stuff. We getting little Easter eggs and teasers.
And did you see the white
The
Martian that
Yes,
was
yep,
rowing the fucking boat?
yep,
I said you
yep,
just threw that in there like it was nothing.
yep, yep.
Okay.
And oh, and speaking of Easter eggs, the JSA existed. It is confirmed. We saw Wildcat. We saw Dr. Fate in there. We saw
Wait, hold on. You
freaking
saw Wildcat? I didn't see him.
yeah, Wildcat was on there. He was on the left side. It's the first shot where they
Oh,
showed
in the Hall of Justice.
in the Hall of Justice. Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see the whole picture. That's why I had just looked down to get some popcorn. I looked up. It was half the picture. I said, "Damn, I missed something."
No, yeah. But
Man,
yeah,
I
Jay
gotta watch it
Garrick was
again
on the
now, just
picture
for
and
that.
stuff like that. So like, yeah, no. So
That's
like we
flash.
got the JSA, they are confirmed. That's good. I'm happy for to know that. So it's like James Gunn subtly set up things that we didn't even notice, and unless you weren't paying it like deep attention to the details and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
in the way he
So
shoots,
like,
it's not
yeah,
glaring on your screen. Hey, you remember
yeah,
this? Like, I
yeah.
do.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. As in, like, I'm not dumbing anything down. Like, this is for.
Hmm.
I like that the movie was for comic book fans. I like that. And
Yep.
then casual fans. Hey, here's a note at the beginning of the movie. It's been going on for years. Keep up. I like
Hmm.
that. I thought he did a good.
And to give it rewatch value because enough stuff like you miss something, you're gonna want to go back and watch it again
Yeah.
and see. Like I said, I think this deserves a second watch. I mean, I think most good superhero
Yeah.
movies do because there's so much you're missing when you got people fighting on the screen. You're missing what's happening in the background, character reactions, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't have too many problems. James Gunn, I thought some stuff was silly as I messed with Scotty, and I was like, you remember when the city is opening up
Yeah.
through it. So
Hold on. Let him say it again.
yeah, he was mad about that,
One more
but
flyness nitpicks. Number two. Let's
he was
go.
mad about that. But I was like, when like the thing got all the way through the city, it started moving over to like the other city, and people were just
Mm.
standing there like, ah, shit, we should have evacuated. Like I'm just like, come on, man, like like
Adonis, I already hit him with this.
you
I
had
already hit him
no
with this
reason to think they
explanation.
could stop this like city splitting earthquake.
Oh my
Move.
gosh.
I
Yeah.
already hit him with this explanation of, even if you go to the real world,
Ah,
there are
real world.
people that will not leave their homes. You see that in Florida every year, California every year. Disaster, they're like, oh, everything's exploding. I'm the only house left on the block. I'll just stay here. We got people
Like
that
I said, I
couldn't
gave you more credit if it
evacuate
seemed like
because
people didn't
they
get
don't have
the
the
hell out of
manpower.
Metropolis.
Here he goes.
Whatever. But
That's a
listen,
nitpick
I
right
don't
there.
have a lot of nitpicks here.
Yeah,
Scotty's
that's
over
two.
exaggerating.
That's two right
But
there.
overall. So wrap this up. I do want to ask this. Maybe this is our last segment here, unless you got something you want to touch on. We now have our Superman. Like we said, we have our Superman, we have our Lex, we have these surrounding characters. Where now you're the guest, so I'll start with you. Where do you want this to go? What do you want to see in a Superman 2? Are there some characters
Mm.
you maybe want to see? Do you want this to kind of like we get it now? We get the second movie. It's like, oh, we got to make money, and I got this whole list of characters back here and
Yeah.
storylines and
Yeah.
multiverses. My question is, Superman 2 or like Superman, is there things you want to see? Is there a character you want to come out? Like, what's kind of do you want just a more character building Superman? Like, maybe, hey, let's take our time, let's get another Superman out there, and then let's tackle this other stuff. Like, where do you want to see it kind of go from here?
So I have an entire like 50% thought out plan of where I would like to see the DCU.
Shouldn't have asked him that.
And
They
Here
should
it
hire
comes.
and
you.
Here it comes.
and so like the first at the so I know who I want the big bad of phase one to be. I want it to be Amazo. Amazo should be the phase one big bad, right? Because we already got inclinations of, well, actually just factual like evidence. Lex has been cloning, cloned Superman, right? So with that being said, that means that that opens the door for him going into messing with just like powers and like altering DNA stuff like that. So that can lead into Superboy later down the line. I think that's a phase two thing. Don't want that happening yet. Too soon for me. But Amazo, he specified specifically he's all like brawl but no brains, you know what I'm saying? Ultraman in this aspect. So what I think they could do easily is when Lex breaks out or he gets free or something happens to where he gets out, they introduce Dr. Ivo and he Lex, as he usually does, has a good eye for talent. He spots Dr. Ivo, right? They work together, they make a Mazo robot. That being a really good defense against somebody like Superman and the entire Justice League as a first villain together. Because that means they can't just rely on their powers, they're going to have to rely on teamwork because this one robot has all of your abilities. So I think that being like the final like thing to end phase one to bring them together as a Justice League would be perfect for that. Now, as far as everything up and coming, we have Batman, the Batman Brave and the Bold movie confirmed. We have Swamp Thing confirmed. We have Supergirl confirmed. Those things are just expanding the universe, I believe. So for Superman 2 specifically, I would say have Clark go into outer space.
Mhm.
I want to see I want to see Superman go outside of Earth. We have never gotten a live action movie where Superman isn't on Earth. I want a storyline. I do think it's a little early for War World, but you could definitely do a story about like how do I say this? You could do like a trial of Superman, right?
Mhm.
Like Superman gets in trouble with intergalactic planets because like something happened, he saved someone or so he broke a law, an intergalactic law by doing something, right? And then he's put on trial, but you know like something's going on in like the world to where like you could see people pulling the strings a little bit, but also in the same breath I would love to see a Brainiac live action.
Mm.
So I think Brainiac would be peak for this, especially this universe setting. Like the vibe and everything, it'd be peak. Because as well as Lex Luthor is a very much an intelligent being, Brainiac is also up there. And at this point in time, early Lex on, Brainiac is more smart, is smarter. So
Mhm.
but I think that Brainiac would be perfect villain for Superman 2 because that would also bring another intellectual villain. But in this point, this villain can fight back by himself. You know,
Mhm.
Brainiac has telekinesis, he has like inventions that can harm him and stuff like that. And I think what they could also do, this ties into the biggest controversial thing in the movie. Superman's parents, Jor-El and Laura, saying that he's sent there to conquer, right? I've already had discourse with my friends. One of my
Mhm.
friends doesn't like it. Another one of my friends like it. So it's like I personally don't have a problem with it because you know we've seen it happen before. We've seen it in My Adventures with Superman and in
Mhm.
Smallville, where the parents of Clark's from Krypton are like antagonists in a sense because
Mhm.
what he thought they sent him for, he's not really there for. So I think if they tie that into Superman 2, Brainiac, if they used a version of Brainiac that was a creation by Jor-El, and he has the true information about what his parents wanted him to do, because to
Mhm.
me, it's still possible for the message to not be all the way like um,
Translated correctly.
translated all the way properly. Because even
Right.
when it was showing on national television, it still had glitches. So
Mhm.
very much could have been a situation where even Lex portrayed that he told the truth. He could still be holding it back because Lex is that petty.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I think that's very much a thing that they can tie into more of his lore and dealing with Brainiac because in Superman the animated series, which I think this movie draws a lot of like inspiration from, House of Brainiac uh is like a technological advancement that helps Krypton like get like further and helps him
Mhm.
a lot. So I think if they introduce him, that'll be good. And I think that would be cool to see.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Okay, I was hoping you didn't say Brainiac, but you said it. But I agree, though. I think I have a little expansion there. I think Brainiac should be the villain of Supergirl and
Mm,
Superman too. And I
mm.
think Supergirl should be in Superman 2 with them fighting Brainiac along. You can hear it. Stay with me now. While Lobo was also trying to annihilate Supergirl in the same movie, because we already have rumors of Lobo being casted as Jason Momoa.
Oh no,
And
that's confirmed. That's
confirmed now.
confirmed. No,
Okay,
like there's set photos and everything. They already started filming.
Yeah.
word. So okay, he's going to be in Supergirl, right? I want
Mhm.
Supergirl to be Lobo chasing after her, and her also trying to stop Brainiac. I want Brainiac to be in Superman 2, while at the same time we get shots of Lex establishing his little empire thing going on. And I also want Jimmy Olsen to have some baddies
Oh my
that
god.
hold on, let's stay. I said stay with me now. to have some baddies that are supervillains. Like, as we know, Jimmy Olsen has dated Silver Banshee.
Yep.
I want him to woo Silver Banshee or anybody else, Livewire or someone else, to help him fight the forces on Earth where Brainiac sends his robots to Earth. I need all of that. I want Superman 2, because Supergirl's gonna come out for Superman 2. I need Superman 2 to be a big ass movie.
Yeah.
As you said, with Brainiac, I need Lex in that particular movie and Supergirl. I need Lex to be in the shadows trying to figure out what he wants to do. Like I said, because Supergirl is gonna be the second movie, Superman 2 is gonna be the third movie. I need Lex to not turn to the Justice League side to like movie 5, where we establish that, oh, hey, this evil stuff ain't working,
I was gonna
and
say no, I
yeah,
was just gonna say they could do that's when Lex can get broken out of prison to help with Brainiac if he sends
yep,
robots to Earth there.
and there
So
you go. So it sets us up. So yeah, I actually agree with what you're saying. I just expand a little bit on it.
no, no, yeah,
There
for
is
sure.
there
I
is three
mean, yeah, like
comic
I said, I don't have comic book knowledge to give you 50 million
books.
characters I want to see. Actually, you reminded me of one of my nitpicks when you said that. So
Well,
I
here it
just
goes. The nitpick number 3.
I'll leave it. I'll leave it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just don't want this to get too big too fast. I would love to see characters brought in. Like you said, you saw me on Superman in space. We've never really seen that. Him going to another planet, which I don't feel like it's hard to do nowadays. I mean,
Shouldn't be.
Yeah,
change the color of the ground up. It built some buildings, and it looks like you're on
they
another
do it in
planet.
TV. They
Yeah,
could do it, definitely
they
do
make
it
it
with two
very
hundred million
easy.
dollars.
Yeah.
When I watch DC animated movies, it does not look like this complex world. It looks like Earth and space.
Yeah.
So I feel like they can do that very easily, and I feel like that would give us a chance to maybe have a storyline where Superman's in space, and then also there's some different characters on Earth who are dealing with natural Earth problems, and it
Mhm.
would give us an introduction to more of those characters, or maybe characters we've seen before, like Green Lantern. We get a little more of him, or whatever have you. Yeah, but overall, just don't want to get too big too fast. Like I said, build it organically. Quick question for y'all. I know James Gunn has established this animated universe side by side with the universe we see in Superman. Um, how cool would y'all be with building the world through that and having concrete stuff, or do you think everything that's really important we need to see on the big screen? Do you feel like that you
I
could have some level of
Mm.
balance there, or do you feel like, hey, if
I
you're
think
gonna have Batman show up and do all this, it's got to be on the big screen. If you're gonna have Supergirl show up and do all this, it's got to be on the big screen because
I think the title characters movies should be big screen, but the tie-ins like Creature Commandos, Secret Six, stuff like that, you can
yeah,
start them in an animated series. And just like Peacemaker's coming out in a couple weeks, the stuff that happened in Creature Commandos flows right into Peacemaker with Rick Flag Sr. We
yeah,
saw Rick Flag Sr. in the movie. It was so refreshing to have them have an animated project so fast come out and then say, hey, guess what? This is canon. So we'll just bring these characters to live action. I don't want to see, because truthfully, I don't want to see 22 live action movies because it's going to take so long. I want to see 10 live action and then like 5 animated series or an animated movie as well for the minor characters or for the supporting characters. And then you can have the main characters have the movie, but you don't have to explain too much. You can just say, hey, this happened, boom, boom, boom. Or a live action series like Peacemaker. Peacemaker is going to just tie into whatever. It's probably a
yeah.
Batman flick or something like that. I don't want to see what DC has done in the past where everything has to
Do
be
live
a
action.
$300 million movie. Like, no, no,
Mm.
no. Give us some series. Give us some, like, he's got Amanda Waller coming out. He's got another Suicide Squad-ish project. I don't know who he's gonna have. The Wonder Woman people. When he has a Wonder Woman series before Wonder Woman comes out, it won't need that whole first Wonder Woman movie explanation. We don't need a whole bunch of explanations. Give me the small stuff and then put that small stuff in a blockbuster movie later on. So we can so I don't have to wait too long. I mean, we're getting old. I'm old now, man. I want this stuff to come out before I fucking die.
So you get Hawk Girl in an animated movie, you're cool with that. That's what's like, okay, she's a background character. We didn't get a lot of her,
Nope.
but we get a little.
I
I
don't
need
want Hawk
Isabella.
Girl
No,
We
in
need that.
anything
We just want
I
to see
need
she
Son of God
trash.
in live action.
I need
I don't
Isabella
want her in
Merced.
anything.
I need Isabella Merced. That's I need that. Need that.
Hawk
Yeah,
Girl is a trash character. I'll die on the hill.
What?
I'll die on the hill.
Don't you
It's not
disrespect
even a hill,
Shira.
really. It's not even a hill. It's solid ground. I'm dying
No,
on.
don't you disrespect
Hawk,
Shira.
no.
Don't.
Hold on. Not just Hawk Girl. Hawk Man. Both of them. Put them in the trash can.
Wow,
Put them in the
wow.
trash
Don't.
can.
I
Stop.
mean,
That's why
Ah,
Hawk Man
I only
died in the
saw
last
Hawk
comic
Man
book
in
he was in because
CW,
he's
so I
trash.
don't have much to say.
It is nothing to say. I have wings. I have a mace.
He didn't get a
Hooray!
chance, man. All right,
ignore him, bro.
It's
okay.
Birdman, but longer airtime. That's all it is.
That's what I
Harvey
wanted from
Birdman,
Birdman when I
Attorney
saw
at
him
Law. I can
originally.
watch
I was
that.
like, yo, if he
I
could
have
be in the
more
air
fun watching.
longer, I love this character.
I have more
Amen.
fun watching Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Same
Anywho,
character, but more interesting.
all right. Anywho, I feel like we've covered pretty much everything. This is a nice little Superman talk. Anything y'all want to address before we get out of here? And then you say, are we good?
I did just want to say one more thing. I just want to say about the Supergirl movie. I'm super excited for that because definitely it's already shown that we're basically going to get Lobo, and I think we're going to get full on Lobo, no holding back. Obviously,
Mhm.
from seeing this movie, seeing Unhinged Lex, I think we're going to get a crazy good Lobo from Jason Momoa. And I think for me, what I think would be really cool is if they tie in the Lantern show with Superman, and then that could also lead into like him going to space. Like something
Yeah.
happens in the Lantern show in space, and they need Superman's help, and then that can
Who's
lead into like Superman 2.
who's playing Hal Jordan?
Cal Chandler.
Oh, okay, cool. He's good. He's a good actor. He
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
Hal Jordan, kind of.
Yeah, he does. It's the only complaint about that is just people, he's 60. So like people are like,
Is he?
ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't look it though.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Now that I see a picture of him, he does have a full head of gray hair, but they can
Yeah.
figure that
Yeah.
out. You don't
He'll
have
make
to
it,
even
bro.
do any
He'll be fine.
stunts as Green
Yeah.
Lantern. You just had to stand there and hold your ring up.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, for me, it's like I think if a lot of people are speculating they're gonna go Parallax Hal this early already because he's old man Hal and he has gray hairs and stuff like
I like
that.
that.
So, which is very interesting. I would love to see where that goes. So, like, I'm very excited for Lanterns. I am invested in this DCU. My GOAT, my man, Superman is back on the big screen, and I'm so ready for more.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
There we go. All right. Well,
And do you have
Superman has a
anything?
lot. The
Oh,
DC universe. Oh, I got something.
no, I was asking if you had anything.
Oh no, I'm good. So obviously, DC Universe got a lot coming down the
You didn't even
pipeline, but
ask. You
Modern
didn't
League
even ask if
Films
I had
also
anything.
has a lot coming. Hey, you talk while I'm talking. Shut up.
You didn't even
Uh,
ask
he
if
was
I had anything. Is the
Marley
problem
Phil's
here?
got a lot coming down the pipeline.
Okay.
Obviously, you talked the Superman discussion. Don't forget, we got I Know What You Did Last Summer coming out next week. I don't know how that's going to be. I'm not excited for it, but
I'm
you don't
ecstatic
miss
about
horror
this movie.
movies. So
I'm gonna
I've
see
never
it in
watched those
theaters.
movies. Never seen them.
What?
Never
okay.
seen them. Never seen them.
Yeah, the second one is an all timer and absolute all
Yeah,
time.
it's one of the worst
Oh,
horror movies of all time.
actually, maybe this week I'll probably rewatch the first one. Maybe we'll review that. We'll get those out. I've
You
not
wanna
rewatched
re-
the second one, but we can rewatch the
No,
first
no,
one.
we gotta rewatch the second and the third one.
Mm.
There's no third. I'm not believing
No,
that.
we gotta fulfill it, fulfill the whole
But
thing.
we got a lot. Like I said, we got a lot coming down the pipeline. Definitely that's coming up. More superhero stuff. We got vampire movies that we talked about. That's coming out. Our top 5. There's a whole list of stuff. So plenty of stuff coming. Subscribe to Minor League Films in here. I want to thank Adonis for coming through, delivering the IQ Superman knowledge, delivering some real world education, some comic book education, some movie education,
Sir,
all that.
sir.
Adonis, again, want to let people know where they can find you. Let us know where we can get some content at.
Okay, of course, man. So I didn't put my YouTube in early at the beginning, but I'm gonna do it this time. One and only Adonis, no underscores, is my YouTube. And speaking of my YouTube, I am advocating to be the live action Miles Morales. I am an actor and I have a Miles Morales short film on my page, and it is my most recent video. So if y'all want to go ahead and check that out, show me some love, show me some support. Let's get the MCU and let them know I'm right here, man. I'm right here. And then as far as TikTok, it's Adonis underscore arachnid. And then on Instagram, it is the one and only Adonis. And that's pretty much on my socials. Thank you both of y'all. Like y'all were awesome hosts. Love the conversation. And of course, we can always count on Scotty to glaze Lex.
Here
So,
we go.
it's
There is no, you can't not glaze him. He does everything right.
Like that. Well, you are
Everything.
welcome back anytime. I've told Scotty plenty of times, get more comic book content on this channel. He does not like doing long form, but maybe if y'all have a discussion, Yeah, that's an easy 10-minute, 15, 20-minute conversation. So like I said, you have the green light. You're more than welcome to. Scotty,
Appreciate
where
it,
do
man.
people can find you at if they don't see you on a day-to-day, even though you just come back with new ideas and never get the old
Here
ones?
we go. The segment has been from it's been in construction for a month now. It's finally here.
Ooh.
But you can find really us at Kuronocomics, Kurono Comics on TikTok. And on YouTube, you can find us at Minor League Films or MLF. And Minor League Films, MLF is on every other platform.
Yeah,
Darian personally cannot be found because, he went ahead and pissed off TikTok. So he has no
yeah.
TikTok.
TikTok. Somehow my account got hacked with 75 followers. So apparently I had some really good content and a promising page that I just couldn't have. But
Wow, that's
anyway, if
crazy.
you want to find me, like Scotty said, Kuronocomics underscore ML or just Kuronocomics on TikTok. Here, MLFHQ, which stands for Minor League Films and Minor League Films. If you want to find us on Instagram, wherever you want to email us, minorleaguefilms@gmail.com. Like I said, we got stuff coming down the timeline, horror movies, and summer blockbusters, man. A lot of movies coming out. A lot of fun coming out. So definitely, this is a time to be a movie fan and a comic book fan. Fantastic Four comes out in a couple weeks, and I was going to get you back for that for Fantastic Four. We'll talk that.
Hey,
We're very excited. That way,
eh,
we'll see if
yeah.
Marvel is still holding strong or if DC is just chipping away a little bit at
Mhm,
that audience base. We will see you there.
mhm.
All that good stuff, like the video, sub, all that. We'll be back pretty soon here, and we will catch you next time.